How's it going, Starseekers? My name's Gotcake and welcome to this review of Snakeybus, an arcade style driving game that's essentially a mashup of Snake and Crazy Taxi. As always, remember to hit that like button, it lets me know that you're enjoying these reviews and helps with promoting the channel. And please do subscribe for more content like this. I do try to cover as many indie games as possible on the channel each month, some good, some not so good, and some downright shite, but my aim is always to give the viewers an idea of what to expect before they go wasting precious money on games like Super Loop Drive. So let's see if we can't bump up that watch time from subscribers, which is currently sitting at around 18%. And with that out the way, let's get on to the review. So the core gameplay mechanic of Snakeybus is simple. You control a bus, or truck, or dragon, and have to drive around the map to stops indicated by yellow hashed areas. Here you will find passengers who appear to be unwillingly sucked into your bus as they scream for their dear lives. Your bus becomes more filled with passengers as you pick them up, and you need to head to the designated drop-off points highlighted by a beam of light, which will then deposit the passengers, presumably in heaven or hell. Doing this will result in your bus growing in length, which will in turn allow you to hold more passengers. Now your bus always follows the path that you've taken, and this is where the game's challenge comes in. As your bus grows, forward planning and strategic driving become essential, as crossing paths with your trailing bus will become an increasingly more common occurrence. The jump button comes in handy on many of these occasions, but you need to use it sparingly as it drains quickly and takes a while to recharge. There are 4 game modes to choose from in Snakeybus. The classic game mode is as previously explained, with the objective being to grow your bus as long as possible. The game will end when either you come to a stop for a few seconds, either due to colliding with terrain or your trailing bus, or if your bus falls out of the gameplay area or into water found on some of the maps. When your run ends, your score will be shown, which you can submit to a leaderboard. Now I'm not too sure if the leaderboard mechanic is working properly, as I set a good score on a level but it didn't show up on the leaderboard. But this could be due to time being the main contributing factor on the leaderboards. The second game mode is Time Race, which has the same objective as Classic, but adds a timer into the mix shown in the top left corner of the screen. This timer counts down and you have to deposit passengers to add additional seconds to it. If the timer reaches 0, the game will end. Time Race mode is significantly more difficult than Classic, and it doesn't appear to have a separate leaderboard, so may only be included for an added challenge. The third game mode is Endless, which can only be played on the Endless map. This game mode is as it sounds, endless. Your bus length will increase by 1 each second, and you're free to drive or fly around a large snow covered area as you please. You have unlimited jump, and the game won't end even if you come to a full stop or land in water. I decided to test just how endless it was by heading out to sea as far as I could go. I eventually reached the map's boundary and plummeted off the edge down into the abyss, and was still falling even after about 10 minutes, so yeah, it's pretty endless. The final game mode is Aerial, and it's somewhat of a gimmick. The only map playable in this game mode is called Cave, which is a cave of course, and it's filled with water which will destroy you if you touch it. The majority of the passengers are suspended on circle platforms, and you have to use the jump button, of which you have an unlimited amount, to reach them. In order to deposit passengers, you must fly through the circles, which also lowers the water level a little. The flying mechanics in the game are near impossible to control, as you're often travelling too fast and the cave walls are too narrow. Colliding with a wall often sends you spiralling out of control and down into the drink below to end your run. The game features a total of 11 different maps to play, and there's a decent amount of variation from one to the next, though the Endless and Cave maps can only be played on the game types specified previously. The rest of the maps generally fall into 2 categories. Firstly, there are cityscape maps such as rainy Seattle with its winding freeways, tight alleyways, and standard American city grid layout. There's Paris with its rivers and iconic landmarks such as the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. Suburban, where you get to terrace through a peaceful suburban neighbourhood wreaking havoc on its unsuspecting population. And my personal favourite, Miami, which features a setting sun and a filter which gives it an 80s retro vibe, which pairs perfectly with the endlessly alternating rainbow colours of the party bus. Pausing the game freezes everything in place and rotates the camera, which would make for some great screenshots if only the developers had included a button to remove the HUD. The second types of map have an abstract art theme to them, with winding highways which loop and twist around each other. The largest of these is Ring, with roads that circle around a central orb. You can achieve huge bus lengths on this map as you switch between the rings, but need to be careful not to fall off the edge and end your game prematurely. Museum features a tight central section and several winding orange roadways which spiral up and over one another. Intersect, which in my opinion is the hardest map in the game, has roadways which loop around a central hole, over which a single drop-off point is situated. But the road is broken here and you've got to complete a jump to deposit passengers. The roadways leading to these jumps are quite tight, so you need a good run up in order to make it to the other side. But you often won't have enough speed and will have to resort to using your jump button for a bit of extra juice. The dorm map makes you appear miniaturised within a student's bedroom, and it's littered with these orange roadways which look like Hot Wheels ramps. It's quite tight and not easy to navigate, and I didn't really enjoy it as much as the other maps. The final map is called Coriolis, where you'll find a farmland environment situated about a huge cylindrical structure which appears to be floating in space. Strangely, I actually felt a bit motion sick whilst playing this map, as you can drive around the whole circumference of the cylinder and its shape warps the camera in a strange way, making it a bit disorientating. So each game that you play will earn you points, which will slowly add up over time and unlock new types of vehicles for you to drive. There are 5 to unlock in total, which includes a school bus, the truck from Cluster Truck, a dragon, a double-decker bus, and my personal favourite, the party bus. Each bus doesn't have a massive impact on general gameplay, except maybe the double-decker due to its size, but they all have their own unique first-person camera view, which you'll likely use very little just because it obscures your view and makes the game harder, especially on maps like Coriolis with its endless wheat fields. So now on to my opinion of the game. Well, for the most part I had a lot of fun playing. The various maps present their own set of challenges and require you to change your approach to forward planning. Most of them were fun to play, but the dorm and intersect maps in particular were a bit too tight and not as good as the rest. I did experience a few frame rate issues on a couple of the maps, but nothing major, which is surprising considering the length that your bus can get to. There were also a couple of bugs that I encountered, firstly a graphical glitch which admittedly was uncommon, and secondly one which trapped me in the options menu after trying to adjust the game's audio settings. There was no way for me to back out and I was forced to restart the game. One thing that was a little bit disappointing was the lack of game modes. The time limit game mode was okay, but the endless and aerial modes were just gimmicky and didn't really add much to the overall experience. It'd be great if the developers were to release additional maps, game modes and buses in the future, and a multiplayer mode would be a fantastic addition if they could pull it off, as I think it would make Snakeybus a great party game. For a rating in its current state, I'd give Snakeybus 3 out of 5 stars. It's fun and addictive and captures some of that classic arcade vibe which was present in the Crazy Taxi games. Hopefully we'll see some additional DLC in the near future, which would also likely increase the star rating I give the game. You can get Snakeybus now on the UK Nintendo Switch eStore for £8.63, or on the US eStore for $9.59. The game's also available on Steam, as well as PS4 and Xbox One. And that's all for this review of Snakeybus. I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to be notified of future indie game reviews. For now though, I want to say thank you once again for watching, and until next time, game on.